Welcome back to Tales of Two Bros. I'm Angel,
I'm Adan.
and this is our year in review of 2022. Spoilers. It is now the end of two. Adan is with me visiting for the holidays, and we did this before, and now we're going to do it again to cap off the year 2022 of what we've seen since our last year in review, which is more like a year in review of our anniversary, but this is going to be now from the end of every year that we review. Be it Marvel, Star Wars, throwback, any action, series, all that good stuff. Here we go. We have 8 categories. We're going to go off with the easiest one and then decide which ones are the best that we viewed of that category. It was the last, and which was a surprise. Let's go with our throwback review. With our throwback review, we've only did 2 movies, Below and Avatar. Sequel already came out for Avatar. There's a series on Disney Plus streaming on Willow. Now, out of the 2, which was your favorite?
Willow. Yeah, you can argue that there's just some nostalgia, but if you take out the dated cinematography for special effects, it's still a very solid action. It works.
Even though in the comparison to Guy or special effects, Willow, Avatar knocks it out of the park. But story or pace, I want not say originality, but
I think Willow was more original than Avatar.
yes and no. I mean, you have the, like I said, the premise of person wanting more, not more of money or something like that, but more. I don't know the purpose. Avatar does it too, but you have the carbon copy of Dances with Wolves, and
Yeah,
here you have that mysticism, that little fantasy like Star Wars versus story by George Lucas. So you have that factor. But yes, I agree. So Willow is the better of the two, of the throwback that is. Willow is the surprise of the two.
yeah, that's fair because if you haven't seen Willow before, like I've had friends that haven't seen, they watched it and they were surprised by it. And then, like for those of you who have seen it, it holds up for the most part. And considering the movie came out in '88 and it's almost 40 years old, that's impressive.
So now our next category is action review. This is where, regardless of the story was bad or good, how was the action of it? And we have here is Fistful of Vengeance, Day Shift, Prey, and Bullet Train. Now, unfortunately, one of those I have not seen, and that was Bullet Train. It is currently streaming on Netflix. Out of those 4, which was your favorite?
I easily Pray for me. That's my favorite. It was closely followed by. It's going to be a toss up between Day Shift or Bullet Train. The least, absolutely. Day Shift was a surprise.
For me, action-wise, Day Shift. Least was Fistful of Vengeance, even though it should have been the other way around with the talent they had in that movie. Horrible action scenes. And for me, the surprise hit was Prey. I didn't expect
True.
to have a good story behind the action or the action that supported the story. Yeah, there are some comparisons to the original Predator, but have been so many Predator movies out there. I thought it would be just another a popcorn movie or just another 2 hours wasted. It was the opposite. It was not wasted. It was great. Back to back watching, willing to watch it in Native American tongue. I forgot the culture's language it was called.
Comanche.
Well, there you go, Comanche. So I'm willing to watch it like that as well. Fistful of Vengeance, least favorite, and that pisses me off because I wish it was better because it came from a source, a sequel from a series, Woo Warriors, and there had pretty good acting.
Yeah.
Yet it was just like a made for DVD or VHS kind of movie.
Pretty much.
Now, movie review, a little more expansive. We have here is Lightyear, Avatar 2, Violent Night.
Well, here's the thing. I never saw Lightyear.
Good.
Oh, that was you and Kim.
No, I know that, but I thought you did.
No.
Okay.
I never got around to catch it. But between Violent Night and Avatar 2, it's the season for Violent Night.
Now, even though Violent Night, the title indicates
On the money.
action, it is violent, but it's story behind it, and you get into the story, and then the action supports that story. So but I find it as a whole a movie. It could be looked at as action. It could be either or. It could be both categories. So, what was your least favorite?
Avatar 2.
Yes, I have to agree with that. Avatar 2, you saw Avatar 1, you pretty much saw Avatar 2. Little more upgrades here and there in the story, but for the most part, not that much different.
Yeah.
Violet Knight is awesome. And for my surprise, is Lightyear because I didn't expect it to be that good. And like the premise on Lightyear is that we're seeing the same thing as the boy in Toy Story. I can't remember his name right now. What made him like Lightyear is that movie. So we're watching the same movie. Yes, it's not Tim Allen as the voice. Would have been nice, but again, you have toys today. You go like to any big store, and they have the voice activation of the characters, be it Captain America, Iron Man. It's not the same voice as some other actor putting his voice in, and that could be seen as that.
True.
So, all movie that made him buy the like. This is the movie. So when you have that in the beginning, then you can enjoy the movie.
Andy.
Andy, there you
And
go.
the
That's the
boy's
boy.
name.
Now let's go into the stuff that we like. Series. Now there's a lot of series that we saw. The Boys. And that was like season 1 through.
Yeah, we did all entire series.
And then we saw 2 series of He-Man and the Master of the Universe, Tekken Bloodline. One, then we saw 2 seasons.
Technically, it's also 1.5. I still couldn't finish it.
Cobra Kai, we did the whole series.
Mm-hmm.
We fixed that. And then we have season 1 of Lord of the Rings and season 1 of House of the Dragon. That's a lot of information. That's a lot of shows. Which one you like?
I would definitely say like most is probably the for me. Cobra Kai is closely followed by Cobra. And a surprise for me was Lord of the Rings. And I'm not the biggest Lord of the Rings. I found it very entertaining for me. And that puts the very least bottom Samurai Rabbit.
Really? You didn't like Samurai Rabbit?
Over Tekken?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I dare say I'm the bigger anime fan. And like Tekken was on the bottom near the bottom of my list.
For me, best of the series, for nostalgia's sake, is Cobra Kai. That wins me over, especially first 2 seasons and then the last season. You had the 4th one. The 3rd one's the worst season. The first 2 seasons was great, got you more nostalgia factor, and then the characters come back and even gets not stronger, but it goes back to, again, it returns back to nostalgia, and it focuses more back onto Daniel, Reese, and then Terry. Bring in Terry. He's one of the perfect bad guys ever captured.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, like for the show, they do a good job of like making him a villain at first. That like seems like he's trying to redeem himself, but he's a really good villain.
Now, granted, the fighting, the action is pretty damn weak, in my opinion. It just is very basic. Asking them as black belts, where their movements are very white beltish.
Well, I mean that's par for the course for.
I understand that, but granted, in ancient Japan and stuff like that, not ancient Japan, but in the beginning of when karate, though, there are white belts. After several years of training, white belt, they are given a black belt. For the most part, though, it's white belt, you're a white belt until you're a black belt. Stuff, and now your real training begins. And then after they wear a black belt in the tournament, but at the dojo, they're white belts.
Oh yeah.
It's like, make up your mind. They're either black belts or they're white belts. There was no yellow, green, purple. There was no blue, no orange. Like martial arts schools, many karate and taekwondo schools. But still, the story as a whole is great. It's worth a watch. My least favorite was, I'll say Samurai Rabbit, even though I love the fact that it was based off the comic book and the descendant of that character of the comic book. Yeah, it's directed for kids like 5 and 6.
Yeah, but I mean, in our defense, we do watch a lot, and but I fell asleep.
You like taking Bloodlines? So I mean, for me, like everything out of that,
So Tekken was your surprise.
yes, because how I knit it was to the original game source material.
Okay.
Have the sound, the movements are very similar or copied right from the video game. Have the spark when they make contact. Even the sounds, the same sound effect in the video game. So for me, like that, pretty true to its source. And now to Star Wars, we only did like 4 reviews this 6 months.
Yes.
Rogue One, which is really a throwback, but are ready to get to our preparation for Andor.
Uh-huh.
Then it was the Obi-Wan series and Tales of the Jedi, as well as Andor. There's one movie and there's 3 shows.
The best movie
And
and
it
surprise.
can't be the worst either, can it?
It's a draw across all 3 categories. No, Rogue One, nostalgia speaking here, like, Rogue One was a surprise when I first saw it initially. I've been on the record that when that movie first came out before I watched it, I was like, "This was the movie we never asked for," and that was why I was surprised because it's a movie I truly love as a fan, and still holds up for me.
Well, I mean, since there's only one movie, why not? We can just mix it in. There's only one movie, and then there's 3 shows. So Rogue One, okay, fine. So same thing for me. Rogue One is I love that movie. That's to me the true prequel of the Star Wars universe. There's only very little of Jedi in it. There's no talk of Skywalker and that. Yes, you have Vader, and it's a different point of view. You have people trying to find the plans for the Death Star for it to get destroyed. And it was destroyed in not just externally but internally. It
Yeah,
was awesome. And then you have Donnie Yen doing his action in it.
which was only, like, 1 moment, but still pretty good.
Still, it's pretty good. And then you have Alan Tudyk doing the voice of the robot. I mean, that was awesome. Now, for the series, for me, Andor, hands down, best one. One here of the 3, Obi-Wan, Tales of the Jedi, Andor.
Andor was both the prize, and it was the number 1,
Your words?
Tales of the Jedi. And, the reason I'm going with Tales of the Jedi, well, no, it's
Go ahead,
because
explain that because I disagree, but go ahead.
and that is very apparent. But Tales of the Jedi had episodes that I don't believe be there, and the parts that I liked, he did not. And and sheer fact is like it's not. It's like I wish there was more to it. Where Obi Wan, as it was slow and it was burning through in some areas, got better as it progressed. It was like him in the show when he was, "Oh yeah, I'm rusty. I can't do my force stuff." And then by the time he was done the show, he was able to do his force stuff. We were like him as his force grew.
Well, apparently I disagree. For me, Andor and Surprise as well. And it falls in line just like Rogue One. Hardly any Jedi in it. There's rumors that Jedi are in it, but in disguise. Still not the focus point.
Yeah.
It's focus on Andor and other characters in the Star Wars galaxy, with him as, I guess, the lead, where how the rebellion is starting officially. Mothma and Luthen.
Okay.
Right? So those 3. There's other characters too that helped. They are part of it. You have people who turned, and then you have characters that are trying to rank up.
Mm.
Now, granted, the only thing I do have a gripe with it is that you have females of power in the Empire. They did this also in Obi-Wan, like that.
Also did it in Rogue One, didn't they?
Not in the Empire.
No, it was Mandalorian.
Who's a female in the Empire?
No, there was a couple of episodes where they all have like
Of the Empire?
in the Empire. Yeah,
Who?
do I have to remember their name? They were like characters that would show up and then they were tossed away.
Well, the thing is, the reason why I don't like it, and it's not about machismo or what have you, or anti-feminism, is that in the original source, there was no female commanders or people of power in that aspect. It was just men and the arrogance of men. So I would like that for Andor and other films to have that. They like just stay true to that source and just don't have females of power. Be it showing the ignorance and arrogance of man in the Empire. And I would have been happy. Now I understand there's women in the rebellion because you need anyone and everyone you can help cause,
Mhm.
right? Fight for the cause. Excuse me. That I understand. You try to get any source possible. With that, I would just love to see because I don't believe that an empire that's based off Hitler or something like that had female in high ranks. Now they may have female that influenced. That may have happened. They didn't have anyone that's a female that's a general or a major. That's my only gripe with Endor and other Star Wars stories that have women power. Like at least favorite in Obi-Wan, mainly due because the premise of Obi-Wan and Leia knowing each other is stupid. They just ruined the first 10 minutes of New Hope, where Leia shows up on the R2D2's screen thing, hologram, saying, "Help me, Obi-Wan. You're my only hope. You fought with my father in the Clone Wars." Blah blah blah. So it was like I understand they try to fix it, and there's another thing about like these prequel series. They try to answer everything that doesn't need to be answered, like Vader and Obi-Wan meeting and stuff like that, and then Anakin or Vader is the one that actually said, "I you didn't kill Anakin, I killed." And then they had to fight twice. Now it would have been better if they fought once. And to fight twice in that series, it made no sense. It defeated the purpose, and they missed a perfect opportunity. If they're gonna have to fight, is that when Vader was on the higher ground, Obi-Wan at the last fight scene, that he didn't say, "Now I have the higher ground, Obi-Wan." He didn't say that.
Vader's not that.
But yes, he is, though. He is that petty. That's the thing. He is vain. He is full of ego. He was in the episode 2, episode 3, episode 4. He was petty. I'm sorry. That series is me. Also, there's a scene where like Obi-Wan is rescuing Leia in that chamber, dark room, the blackout room,
Okay, yeah.
right? And he shows up, he pops up, like in surprise burst. That he hits the stormtroopers like he's swinging a bat, meaning bounces.
Yeah.
Lightsabers don't bounce.
He doesn't hit him with the light.
He does.
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking in the hallway.
No, the other one is like empty hand. But he swings and he bounces off like he's a shield or a body like with a bat. Bat lightsaber is supposed to cut through.
Yeah.
So like things of that nature, which I didn't pay attention to, and also that comedian.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. He also played on.
Right. I'm sorry that I don't remember his name. They don't show him why he turned. He was in it for the money, right? And he was scheming people. And he sees Obi-Wan. "I'm here to help you." Like,
No. They told him like that guy's actually a Jedi because he's a real thing. Or like he was
no,
convinced like after like meeting Obi-Wan.
right? But he was also he charged people like so much. Jedi doesn't do that.
I understand
So
that,
he was right. But I'm just saying he knew he was a Jedi.
yeah. I mean, he took advantage of people, but they still got what they wanted.
Right. I understand that. I'm just saying he knew he was a Jedi when he was done. When Obi-Wan finished meeting him. And then he says, "Wait a minute, he's wanted." Oh, you would think that he would go and try to get him to get more money. Yeah, he's like, "I want to help."
You didn't get why he wanted to help the Jedi.
But not like that. And yeah, in general, like he just changed. Like he was not a bad guy, but he was a bad guy. And he was like, "I want to help." And then you have like Inquisitors dying left and right, but yet to live. It's like, so you get stabbed through the chest, through the spine, you live. You're okay. You don't. Yeah. So like, why would you be a Jedi if you're gonna be I'd rather be Sith. I'm never gonna die.
Oh, well, I mean, funny enough, that's how the Sith is. Like, that's a lot of Sith lords and like.
No, but the thing is, like, that only happened when Darth Maul, because in the books, be it canon or legends, you died, you stayed dead. You don't come back.
There was one that was like a Jedi that turned Sith Lord, actually practically both, and then there was the Palpatine's trainer
Master?
master was like the closest to mastering because their end goal was immortality. So there was others,
Right.
and then in one of the games there was one that was like he was one of the guys.
But the thing is, like, why then ever be a Jedi if longer and you're a Sith? I mean, granted, for Rise of Skywalker, Palpatine, which makes no sense that they say he's a clone, and that makes no sense that Palpatine is a clone of the original. If you're a clone, you don't have nails like shredded or your fingers deteriorated. Your skin is not destroyed because of what Mace Windu did. If you're a clone of the original source, you'll be a Palpatine. You'll be the Senator Palpatine. Better skin, fingers all intact.
The one that
That's supposed to be a clone.
I thought that was the real deal.
No. They say that's the clone, which makes no damn sense.
That like in post, like someone afterwards said that was a clone.
So I think J.J. Abrams. That was like the one successful. The Snook is supposed to be the
Well,
failed
yeah, yeah, yeah.
clones of
Oh, J.J.
Palpatine.
Abrams spoke out. He didn't. That ruins it even more for me.
It makes no sense at all. Anyway,
We're-
so we're going. Yeah. See, now we're into our nitty gritty that we're talking more. So, Tales of the Jedi was definitely better than Obi-Wan. But again, it's a thing. Like we don't need to know the origin of every single character of Star Wars universe. I'm okay Count Dooku just being evil, that he was a Jedi that turned to the Sith or went to join Palpatine. I'm okay with that. I don't need to learn all that stuff. I don't need to know about Ahsoka coming in or seeing a scene that was later than.
that was the parts that I was saying. I agree with you on like Ahsoka's portion of that. I did not. This is the part that I would differ on. I Dooku's part more. I like that actor, and I thought it was interesting. You could
Actor
just
or character, because the actor is dead.
character.
The original actor of who played Count Dooku.
Exactly, and then but the character also enjoy, and I just like how they did that. But if it was just that by itself, I would have been happier. But every time they went back to Ahsoka, who is a great character, it takes you away from the other parts, and it's less focused. And you're like, why are we watching? Which they don't even intertwine.
You have one person that turning dark. You have one person that
Anything
this is becoming a Jedi. Like the training scene, her and the other.
like a whole episode
That was all done to explain the action scene
that they added
in the Clone Wars,
which they could have just.
It didn't need. It wasn't needed. Like
they could have just put that in Clone Wars,
right. So that's why I'm like, okay, but it beats out Obi-Wan.
Okay.
So we're gonna go back to our series review because we did forget Wednesday. Wednesday to me, I make a correction or amendment. I'll still say the best series is Cobra Kai, strictly because of nostalgia. The surprise was Wednesday. I love the fact on many levels. I love it because of made it more Latin family. The father, the brother, sister, Latin. The uncle, Latin. The mother, she could pass as Latin, but she's not. She's white. She's European. So I'm okay with that, and I love that factor and the dynamic of like a Scooby Doo, Nancy Drew, Murder She Wrote, and a blend with the Addams family and the focus of Wednesday. I like that. But what about you?
The voice is still going to be my favorite. I'll have to amend too. Wednesday was a surprise. Went into it not thinking it was going to be much, and I ended up binging it in the same day. The mystery factor and the way that the portrayal of Wednesday just all work. Excellent show.
So now DC for this year, for what we saw, the category is small as well. You have Black Adam, Super Pets, those two movies, and you also have Batman Unburied, which is actually a podcast, as well as Sandman, which is currently streaming on Netflix. So out of the two series, no, it is hard.
It's harder when you have two.
Well, yeah, but they're both good in their own right. So
and they're and they both have. So here's the thing. I will say for me, surprise was Batman because I didn't think that a podcast would be as entertaining as it was, or because it's not like a podcast where people are just talking like we do. It's a podcast like show, like it seems like a legitimate show that you're just having running in the background. That was actually really good, and I would definitely listen to it. Sandman, most people have heard of Sandman as top seller, and they know about the comic, the graphic novel. So I was anticipating that. I wasn't. How about you? Which one's the surprise for you?
Well, Batman Unburied, I did like more than Sandman. Well, the thing is, like, I also liked about it, like, it's kind of creepy, especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
Don't listen to it in the dark. But also love the fact that the main characters, the heroes, and they're not white.
The actors.
The actors. You have the same actor who played M'Baku in Black Panther. He's Batman.
That was him.
Yeah.
Oh,
So like the Wayne family are black. They have Latinos in there. It's like very few white people in this series. Now, nothing wrong with white, but it just breaks that stereotype.
I mean, when you're listening to it, you don't really,
Well, no,
unless someone has a severe accent.
well, that's not true. Yes, because the thing is, some of the actors, like the one who plays Thomas Wayne, his voice is super noticeable. Rosario Dawson, Sandman for me, I got lost. It started off really well, and then if you're not a diehard Sandman fan, or get bored, because it was like it was being back to back, continuous, and then it starts jumping. The best friend, and then to now I did like the fact that, and that brought it to my attention, that a lot of these characters, due to copyright, that they couldn't give out their real name or their superhero name. It had to be like the alias that, and then you had to know like the son of Hawkman and Hawkgirl. You had the daughter of Wonder Woman. You have the son who also played in Wonder Woman, the Ares. I forgot.
I had forgotten all that. This
Yeah. But anyway, you have that factor in. So that was kind of cool. But again, like you had to be a diehard fan to really appreciate what was being on display.
there's a lot of deep cuts on the show. And it actually, a lot of scenes are verbatim from the book.
Mm-hmm.
Funny enough, I never read the book. Still, have the book. But correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think they're doing any season.
I think they are.
Okay,
I think they are.
I thought they changed it. Like Netflix might have changed.
Maybe. But then the thing is, after the series came out, because Netflix gives you everything all at once, but then at the time after our initial review, they put out another episode.
They did.
More animation.
Yeah, it was like that one was like was short stories.
Right, and it wasn't really needed. I don't know why they put it there or found the need.
But okay, so was that your worst?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, because I couldn't follow, and it was jumping. Got to a point where there's just jumping around. They said it's like that in the books too.
It is that I do know.
So I was like
I did catch up to a point where I'm familiar with like the flow of the story. I talked to people; they're like, it's very similar. It will jump. Actually, for me, Sandman was my favorite.
Good. Move on. All right. Now you have two DC movies: DC Super Pets and Black Adam. I'm gonna say right now, my best and favorite was these two was Super Pets. My least favorite was Black Adam. Black Adam is trash in comparison to Super Pets, and also compared to a lot of the DCU. Both are not DCU movies. One is the one is just another like an Elseworld, focusing on the pet aspect, and that was more entertaining. And I like the fact that they at the end of the Super Pets, you have Mio appearance, pretty much how the cameo appearance in the end of Black Adam, in a way that he comes out from the shadows or from the sky and then shows up, and there's some talk and of Black Adam and his dog, and both voiced by Rock, which is also the voice of Crypto. I was like, how big was the paycheck?
I hope it was good.
Well, yeah, he did a better job in this than he did in Black Adam. Black Adam was for something that was 15 years in the making, with one of the most basic storylines. And I told you this recently that I saw this story before somewhere. Couldn't pinpoint it until it just dawned on me that the story of Black Adam, the premise of the film, is pretty much not carbon copy, but copy of The Crow.
Yeah, you did tell me that recently.
Right. The thing is that the story of the Black Adam is told by the eyes of a young skateboarder. He has a single mom, and he tries to help out the hero of the story, or the anti-villain, and also Terminator 2. It could be it's the same thing. Terminator 2 as well. It's told by John. No, it's not told by John Connor. Told by Sarah Connor. But you have a kid befriending the anti-hero, or the hero that will be. And in The Crow, you have a girl on the story through her eyes, and she's also a skateboarder. And then you have the cop trying to find the Crow, and the cop represents the GSA in the sense of trying to not have him kill the bad guys, and the hypocrisy, oh, we don't kill. And we know the heroes in DCU
they all kill.
And many cops kill on purpose or accidental. That's why I think Black Adam was. I mean, I even on HBO Max, and I'm like afraid to watch it again. There's so many unnecessary characters. It was those two. What are you?
Favorite surprise is that's
Mm-hmm.
I went in like it's gonna be okay, and it was very good. And Black Adam of the two is gonna be the worst. I wouldn't of all DC movies and whatnot, it's not gonna be as low on my orders, but
No,
you know
right, but it's low.
it's
I mean, I'm wearing the Black Adam hoodie, and I find this jacket, this hoodie, far better than the damn movie.
anyways, of the two, Super Pets is a fantastic film. It's a surprise, it's enjoyable. It's got comedy, got the action, got a little bit of everything. You can be an adult and enjoy it. Like Adam, it was lackluster in some areas. It's very cliche, and it was good in some points, but where it lacked is where it really showed. So, and this is coming from us being like super comic book fans of Black Adam. We could be better, but there's like a storyline World War III Black Adam, and that's fantastic.
If they use the premise of World War III.
Yeah, well, that concept or that like
Well, yeah, it doesn't
yeah,
have to be exactly like that, but yes, have that, but use that as the source influence or to tell the story of and play how vicious he is and how evil he can be, to, or what he'll do to people to serve his purpose.
yeah.
They didn't show that here. They didn't show that at all, and it's just a damn shame because the thing is, Black Adam is a villain. He is Shazam's arch enemy, and they should have had Shazam show up at the after credit scene. They should have used him instead of using Soups. I would love to have a prequel of really going deep in the sense of back then why he was locked in, why was he set in the prison, and then
Yeah,
at the
that would have made more sense.
and then have at the end him and Shazam face off, and then that could be the start for the Shazam sequel. Even though now they're going to do something else with the Shazam sequel, but that would have been a perfect lead or segue into the Shazam, the Black Adam, and they did not. They just like
I mean, technically speaking, like what you just described would have been great as a prequel. You could take
no, of
this
course,
same movie we just watched, Black Adam, set it as a prequel, still would have Doctor Fate. You would still have Carter Hall because their characters,
yes,
yeah, and then you throw in a couple other characters to substitute for the ones that they had, and the movie would still be good and just make it a little bit more brutal to represent what Black Adam is about.
right. But I'm saying like they could have had like fast forward, like he breaks out somehow. He is free from the prison. I mean, also another great source of that is the Superman and Shazam versus Black Adam.
Yeah, we also referenced that in
That,
our review.
that
Watch
was
our review.
that was a perfect display of power and mindset of Black Adam.
Yep.
Our last category, we're going to break it down because it's a lot. Marvel came out swinging this year. So for our movies, well, a lot of it was also throwback in preparation for movies released. We did reviews on all the Thors 1, 2, 3, and 4, America Civil War. And then we did a review of Black Panther.
And this may be just because it came out. I'm gonna put Wakanda Forever. Yes, Wakanda was a surprise. Least favorite was the original Thor.
Original Thor.
I've never really liked the original Thor. I am of the rare category where I liked Dark World more than I liked Thor.
Okay. For me, the surprise one was Thor Ragnarok. It hit so many right points. It hit stuff out of the park. So I was surprised because how the original Thor was, how Thor the Dark World was. You didn't expect to be like such a different variation or a different version or interpretation of Thor. So that's what I like about this one. It does take that change or direction. My best one, my favorite one, is Captain America Civil War. The reason why is because we have the story of how the Sokovia Accords comes about, where people have now heroes. You want to be your hero, you got to give up your identity. You have the debut of Black Panther, played beautifully by the late Chadwick Boseman.
Spider-Man?
And Spider-Man, yes. But how Black Panther was, or how Black Panther appeared, his martial arts and all this stuff was so accurate and such a pleasure to see that I don't think others can come close of these category. Now, my least favorite I'm sorry, Black Panther, in regards of what we saw in Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah, I'm
Yes, it was,
actually surprised you didn't choose Thor 4. I remember you hard time with
but I do like Love and Thunder. There are some faults with it, but in the sense of like it just continuing, where I felt like how Black Panther in Civil War is a drastic change in Black Panther, in my opinion.
it. Okay.
And I'm talking about from the aspect of martial arts and how he was received in Civil War, like very stoic, very proud, and stuff like that. You're now granted, yes, he's among his people, so when you're among your own, you're more relaxed. I just felt, and it was just too CGI. Ooh, CGI just took me away from the elephants or the rhinos, and then the underground fight scene, and then the helmet coming off and on, and then the Lion King aspect you have there with going into the Panther world, and
Mhm.
to me it was just. Now that being said, I do find Wakanda Forever far better than this,
Yeah. Oh,
far better than
they
this.
sound like they listen.
So now our last category. Still Marvel. We have Miss Marvel, Werewolf by Night, She-Hulk, and Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Now, two of them are actual series in the sense of episodic, and two of them are one-shots. Is now the new thing with Disney and Marvel, special presentation, a very old school kind of thing that we used to watch back in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Like a special presentation thing, and either a movie or a one episode thing for the season. Which was your fave, least fave, and surprise?
Surprise, definitely Werewolf by Night.
Okay.
So that one caught me off guard. Least fave, I am gonna go with the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Favorites, I am going to say Ms. Marvel. I say favorite because it's as a whole a really good show. It had good music. It had a theme behind it. It set future for the MCU. Not just for a series. It was an overall entertaining show to watch, even though it's like a sub character that honestly a lot of people don't know, and so you can catch it up really well. And this is coming from a guy that I defended She-Hulk. A Werewolf by Night was really good as a or viewing.
I have to agree with that. Prize was Werewolf by Night. We didn't expect it. It had a horror aspect, but it also had that homage to old black and whites, so Werewolf, Dracula, and Frankenstein. Like, and it was all done in black and white too, so it gave you that. And it wasn't that much. It wasn't really scary. It was in time of the Halloween, so and they had that.
Yeah.
They showed us Man Thing. There's a debut of Man Thing as well.
Yeah, and I didn't know about Man Things.
And Werewolf by Night, we're familiar with Werewolf by Night due to if you watch Moon Knight and then you downloaded the QR codes, you'll see that Moon Knight's debut in Marvel was on the Werewolf by Night. Now, granted, it was different scenario, different type of Moon Knight. It was more like a hitman that was given the costume who hired him. Now, my least surprise or my least favorite is She-Hulk. I'm sorry, it was painful to watch. Kimberly thought it was painful to watch. Now, the girl who played, well, not She-Hulk necessarily, She-Hulk, but also Walters. She's a good actress.
Mhm.
She is. She has some lines here and there that she just dropped it hard, and it was good. As a whole, no. The only part I did like that was really good is Hong and
Madison.
Madison with a Y.
That was a surprise.
Right. Now that for me was I will watch a separate show of Hong and Madison. I will watch
The
a
two
separate
new
show.
the brand new besties.
I have to say also Ms. Marvel was awesome too. I like the fact that you have a person of a different ethnicity. It's not your traditional white or black hero.
Yeah.
You have a different Pakistani. And you see her, how she's dealing with the powers and how it's affected and is also since the merger of Fox, it's the first to mention mutants, the word mutant.
Yeah. True. And they played the little song too.
They played a little bit of the X-Men song in it as well. So you have that attachment. Now overall, yeah, the actions when they were there, the Knife Clan or the whoever they were, I forgot the names of
The Clintar? No. Oh, the red. Yeah, I want to call them Red Hoods. It's not Red Hoods.
Red Hoods. But barbs? I don't know. But when they had action there, that was good as well. That balance. I mean, comedy was there also.
Yeah.
Intrigue, some
Drama.
drama. Yes. Love
There was a little bit of a love triangle,
or yes.
romance triangle.
So it was balanced. I mean, I know people did not like it because it was a female also getting powers and it was all this lovey, but like Spider-Man, you're seeing it through teenagers' eyes.
Yeah.
similarity, but instead of a male, it's a female. It goes more in depth than it does with Spider and Peter Parker. That's my favorite of the series, the second half of 2022. Now, coming for 2023, our year in review is going to be a lot longer and hopefully a lot more. And then I'm hopeful that we can get more anime reviews. I know you're a huge fan of anime. I used to be big, but it's just so hard to view what's out there. I have not a 9 to 5 job, 9 to 5. I don't have a 9 to 5 job. You do,
I definitely do.
but I'm always back and forth. And since I'm editing all this stuff, it takes time. I'm still learning how to make it faster and cleaner and more entertainment or more enjoyable for you guys. It's tough. And for those who are our members, be it listening or watching, we thank you. Thank you for being with us. We're only a year and a half in, and we're hoping to make better content for you guys. Let us know from the categories that we mentioned, what was your favorite? What was your surprise? What was your least favorite? We would like to know. As always, please hit us up at talesoftvbros@gmail.com if you would like us to review one of your favorite shows, movies. We'll check it out and give a review, and we'll give you a shout out. Right? Until next time, will be the next time. I'm Angel.
Don.
Happy holidays and Happy New Year, guys.